Hi everyone, I am Howard and this is Otter's Retirement Corner. Before I start today, I want to give one special announcement. I will be appearing on another YouTuber's show about retirement, David in Progress. We did an interview. He's going to show it tomorrow, Tuesday, sometime in the morning. It'll pop on there. I'll attach a link to his channel. Again, it's David in Progress, another YouTube retirement podcaster, if you want to call him that. We have a conversation. It's mostly about me and my viewpoints. It's more or less an interview of me. If you're interested, certainly please tune in and watch it on David's channel. Maybe in a few days or a week or whatever, I'll put it here on my channel. But please tune into his channel, give it a view, tell him what you think, and I'm sure you'll tell me what you think too. Anyway, I want to talk about inflation. We just had the CPI report come out the other day. We had the COLA increase of 2.8% for Social Security. And anytime these come out, comments on whatever platform it is always, oh, it's not really that low, it's much higher, it's much higher. Everything costs more, food costs more, gas costs more, clothes cost, every time. Nobody ever says, you know what, it's really not that high. So back in 2014, I started tracking 25 items I bought, not regularly, but semi-regularly or occasionally at Trader Joe's. I lived in Illinois at the time. Because I'd been hearing a lot of people complaining on YouTube or Yahoo, whatever it was, about food inflation, and I wasn't feeling it. So I just wanted to see for myself. So from time to time, I would track inflation. I would get those same items, write down what they were, how much they cost, what that basket of goods cost me. Now, understand when the CPI, the BLS does their CPI, their inflation index, they track anywhere from 150 to 180 different food items. They also track, what restaurants cost. So this is not an exact apples to apples comparison. And additionally, I don't buy animal products. So, I'm not buying meat or eggs or dairy. So it's going to vary a little bit. There's times where my inflation might be higher because meat prices go down, or vice versa. Excuse me. Battling a lung thing for about 10 days now. Finally can talk somewhat normal. Anyway, so I track these things. And, for the first, 4 years, my basket of 25 goods changed by about 30 cents. There was virtually no inflation. Now understand, when I say I shop at Trader Joe's and I buy this basket of goods, it does not exactly replicate any other index you're looking at. I buy certain items, it's a small sample of that 150 to 180 items, but as you get up to 20 plus items, it starts getting pretty close, again, without meat. The other thing you have to remember is I did this, started in the Chicago area, did it in the San Francisco area, did it in the Tempe, Arizona area, and now I'm doing it in the Tampa area. All those Trader Joe's I shopped at outside of Tampa were suburban locations. So their prices tended to be a little lower than city locations, which doesn't matter because I kept shopping at suburban locations until I got to Tampa and I shopped a city location where we saw pretty quickly compared to Tempe, the prices were, in my mind, higher. I don't know if I want to say significantly higher, but they were higher. So the point I've always made about inflation is it's personal. That CPI index, depending upon what items you buy, not just food, but all other items, and what percentage it is of your overall spending, your personal inflation could be lower or higher than what's reported. When they reported 9.7%, whatever it was in 2022, mine was significantly lower. Certainly there are people who are significantly higher, but you have to understand, everyone buys a different basket of goods. And when it comes to food, I just never believed what I heard of people saying online that it went up as much as it did. And I'm finding that still to be true. Now, I'm going to show you, here's the CPI numbers. This is just food inflation only, okay? Since I started in 2024, I tracked that. So from 2014 to 2025, on average, food went up 3.32%. Now again, that's all food they track, the 150 to 180 items, restaurant food, everything. Everything's in there. 3.32%. Now, to some people that seems high or low, I don't know. That seems about right to my experience. But if you hear people online, and maybe it's just only the people who don't understand it or see it or get it, they complain about that. And you're going to tell me, every one of you is going to tell me whether you think that's a good number or not, and what it reflects. And the methodologies, you hear about shrink inflation. There's 64-ounce container of orange juice cost $3, and then it still cost $3 next time you went, but it was only 54 ounces. Well, the CPI takes that into account. They do a per ounce cost, so they compare oranges to oranges. So understand that. So, and I did the same thing. One of my items actually shrunk, so I did the same comparison. So here's some significant years, 2022 through 2025, when we've seen really rapid inflation in general. Here's the year-by-year food inflation. 2022, obviously the worst at 9.9. Then we got down to 5.8, 2.3. 2025 is going to come in around 3%, probably slightly lower. We still have a couple months, obviously, to look at that. Now, in comparison, here's what I found on my basket. For that same period, 2014 to 2025, I had 2.04% inflation. Now again, let me make one point here. That list of 25 items I had from Trader Joe's has now shrunken to 20 because they stopped carrying some items. All right, so I went back to 2024 and every year after that, whenever I checked it, and just included those items so my comparison stood. And again, people go to the store and, okay, last week it cost me $222, this week it cost me $248. That's meaningless because you bought a different basket of goods. You bought some things you didn't buy last time. You didn't buy some things you bought last time. You have to compare the exact items to get a real inflation number. Okay, so I went and looked at those, I didn't check every year. So 2018 was the 2023 was the last real good significant chunk of time I had that included all these bad numbers. I got an average of 3.78%. So for that 5-year period, it was worse. It was pretty bad. I mean, that's significant inflation to me. But 2023 to 25, I got 1.9%. So what does it mean? It means inflation is personal. You're going to tell me what your inflation is. I'm telling you what mine is. But my thesis here is that food inflation is not as bad as people generally say it is. And yes, you can complain about meat, and yes, you can complain about eggs, but even if meat and eggs went down, you'd find other items to complain about that did go up significantly. Avocados are one. It's not in my survey, but I noticed this recently. I buy avocados at Target. They've always been 99 cents, and then the tariffs hit, and they stayed at 99 cents, but they went from medium to small. So, Target was trying to play it smart. Hey, they're still 99 cents, no price increase, but they went to small. So yes, there's inflation, but my finding is it's generally not as bad as people think it is or claim it is. And if you disagree, show me your data. I mean, I'll name all 20 items if you want to, but I don't want to do that to everybody. So again, this is my thesis. Take it however you want. Be sure to tune in to David in Progress and watch my interview. Give me your comments. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye.